The cheap diner plastic sticks to my forearms. Opposite me, Sarah pushes soggy fries around her plate, her mascara already making faint gray tracks down her cheeks. She sniffles, fumbles with her phone. "You have to see this, Mark. I just can't believe he'd do this." Her thumb jabs at the screen. A video starts playing. Grainy, shot through a doorway, probably. Sound muffled. A man and a woman, tangled together on a couch. The man is Drew, her boyfriend, my supposed best friend. My stomach clenches. But then the woman turns her head, laughing at something he whispers, her blonde hair catching the dim light. It's Elise, my fiancé. The air punches out of my lungs. It's not just the shock, the nausea twisting low in my gut. It's something else. A sickening, impossible familiarity. My vision tunnels. The diner sounds. The clatter of plates, the low murmur of conversations. Sarah's choked sobs fade into a dull roar. This has happened before. The thought isn't a thought. It's a certainty, slamming into me with the force of a physical blow. I'm not just seeing this video. I'm remembering seeing this video, or one just like it, in another life. A life I already lived. A life that ended right here with this betrayal. I clamp down on the gasp threatening to escape. Last time I exploded. The memory hits hard. Me, bursting into Elise's apartment without knocking. Her and Drew, startled, pulling apart on that same damn couch. My roar of fury. The accusations, the screaming. Drew, smooth as ever, turning it around. "Mark, man, calm down, you're not thinking straight." Elise, tears streaming, playing the victim. "He's been so possessive lately, Drew. So paranoid. Accusing me of things." It spiraled so fast. They were masters of manipulation. By the end of the week, I was the bad guy. The unstable, jealous fiancé. Drew, my best friend, poisoning the well with everyone we knew. Elise, the wounded party, garnering sympathy. I remember the looks from our friends, pity, suspicion, annoyance, Jake avoiding my calls, my own sister Leah telling me I needed help. I lost Elise, I lost Drew, I lost most of my friends. My reputation took a nosedive, whispers following me, impacting job prospects. They painted me as controlling, erratic. And the worst part? People believed them. The sheer injustice of it, the helplessness, it ate me alive. I ended up utterly alone, reputation shredded, heartbroken, financially strained from the broken engagement fallout. That timeline ended in a haze of bitterness and isolation, but this time is different. I blink, forcing the diner back into focus. Sarah is still crying, watching my face expectantly. My life now is, well, it was perfect. Or seemed to be. Good job in tech. Lead project manager. Elise, beautiful and seemingly devoted. The wedding planning supposedly in full swing. Our shared apartment filled with Pottery Barn furniture and future plans. Drew, still playing the role of supportive best mate. Yet there were signs, weren't there? Those little flashes of déjà vu I'd been dismissing for months. The odd comment from Elise about needing space. Drew mentioning private meetings I wasn't included in. The way Elise's phone was suddenly always angled away from me. Tiny inconsistencies I'd brushed off because, why wouldn't I? I loved her. Trusted them both. Idiot. Reborn into the same nightmare. The universe apparently thought I needed a do-over. Or maybe it was just cruel. Seeing Elise's face in that video again, knowing what comes next, it's like staring down the barrel of a gun you know is loaded. The betrayal isn't just happening. It's happening again, following the same goddamn script. I force my face into an expression of shocked sympathy. "Sarah, God, I don't know what to say. That's horrible. Are you okay?" My voice sounds hollow, distant, even to me. She shakes her head, fresh tears welling. "No. How could he? I need to get out of here. Need to think. Listen, I say, sliding out of the booth, my legs shaky. I need a minute, just process this. For you, let me step outside. I don't wait for an answer. I push through the diner door into the crisp afternoon air. The sudden chill is a relief. I walk, fast, needing distance. The smell of roasting coffee beans from a nearby cafe assaults my senses, sharp and grounding. Traffic rumbles past. A yellow cab honks impatiently. My head is swimming. Reborn? How is that even possible? Doesn't matter. It is. And I have a choice this time. Last time the confrontation was immediate, emotional, catastrophic. It played right into their hands. They painted me as unhinged. This time, knowledge is power. They think they're pulling the strings, but they don't know I've seen the whole damn puppet show before. Confrontation now gets me nothing but a repeat of the same isolating disaster. No, this time I play their game, but I play it better. I know their moves before they make them. Revenge? Maybe. Justice? Definitely. Survival? Absolutely. I pull out my phone, my fingers surprisingly steady. Find Drew's contact. He's expecting Sarah to confront him after showing me the video, maybe. He's not expecting this. I hit dial. Time to set the stage. Hey, Drew, man, I say, injecting false concern into my voice when he answers. Everything all right? Sarah seemed really upset at lunch, rushed off crying. Just wanted to check in, make sure you guys are okay. Let the games begin. Again. A few days later, Sarah asks to meet for coffee. To talk, she says, her voice still thick with manufactured sadness over the phone. We find a corner booth in a quiet cafe, the air smelling faintly of burnt sugar and espresso. She clutches her latte like a lifeline. Mark, there's something I didn't tell you, she starts, leaning in conspiratorially. I've known about them for a few weeks. My mask of sympathetic friend stays firmly in place, but inside, alarms are blaring. Weeks? Sarah, why didn't you say anything? To me? Or confront Drew? Tears well up on cue. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Drew can be intimidating. And honestly? She lowers her voice. I was worried about you, Mark. Seeing you and Elise together, so happy. Planning the wedding. I didn't want to be the one to break your heart. It sounds plausible. Caring, even. But something feels off. The way she says it, a little too rehearsed. And then, he's been spending so much money lately, too. On her, I guess. New clothes, fancy dinners. He even mentioned needing a loan for some sure-thing investment Elise apparently suggested. How would she know that specific detail? Unless she's not just a victim here. A cold dread washes over me. Déjà vu prickles my skin as she reaches across the table, her hand landing on mine. I just want you to be careful, Mark, she whispers. I don't trust either of them. Is this genuine concern, or is she playing a deeper game, testing the waters, seeing how much I know or suspect? The memory of the last timeline is hazy on Sarah's exact role, beyond being the initial catalyst. Was she always more involved than I realized? Thanks, Sarah. That means a lot, I manage, pulling my hand back gently. It's a lot to take in. She nods, dabbing her eyes. I know, and listen. She leans closer again, her expression turning intense. There's more videos, other stuff I found, things that show, well, just how long this has been going on, and maybe more. My blood runs cold. More videos? What else does she have? And why hold it back? Is she trying to control the narrative? Use me somehow? The cliffhanger hangs in the air between us, heavy and dangerous. What kind of stuff, Sarah? Drinks tonight? My treat. Need to unwind. Drew's text pops up later that day. Perfect. Time to see the snake up close. We meet at our usual spot, a dimly lit bar with dark wood and the smell of stale beer. He claps me on the shoulder, a little too hard, grinning a little too wide. "Mark, good to see you, man. Rough week?" "You could say that," I reply, keeping my tone neutral. I watch him order whiskeys, his movements jerky, eyes darting around the room. He's nervous. Good. We talk surface stuff. Work, sports, complaining about the boss. The usual routine. It's almost sickeningly normal, except I know what's simmering beneath his forced bonhomie. This is the guy I roomed with in college, the one I thought had my back when we were starting out, navigating crappy first jobs and even worse apartments. But looking back now, through the lens of my first timeline's memories and this reborn clarity, the signs were always there. Drew, always needing to be one step ahead. The way he'd casually borrow my ideas in meetings and present them as his own. The subtle put-downs disguised as jokes. The constant low-level competition I'd always laughed off as just Drew being Drew. How could I have been so blind? He wasn't a friend. He was a parasite. He takes a large gulp of his whiskey, then leans forward, lowering his voice. "Hey, speaking of work, I might have something big cooking. An opportunity. Really big potential returns." He pauses, gauges my reaction. Actually, Elise mentioned she might be interested too. Maybe something we could all get in on? There it is, the hook. The same financial opportunity that bled me dry last time. Elise involved, of course. My heart pounds, a mixture of rage and grim satisfaction. They're running the same playbook. And I'm ready for them. "Oh yeah?" I say, feigning interest. "Sounds intriguing. Tell me more." Being home with Elise is like living in a meticulously staged play. She drifts around our apartment, all effortless grace and warm smiles, playing the part of the doting fiancé. She asks about my day, touches my arm affectionately, talks about wedding details, the caterer tasting next week, the flower arrangements she favors. It's a flawless performance. But now, I see the cracks. The new habits that mirror the end stages of my previous life. The way she angles her laptop screen away when I walk into the room. The sudden need for privacy on her phone, complete with a changed passcode. Late-night work calls taken in the other room, her voice hushed. Expensive new clothes appearing in her closet that don't quite fit our budget, explained away with vague comments about savvy shopping or treating herself. Tonight, over dinner, pasta she supposedly whipped up herself, though it tastes suspiciously like the upscale Italian place downtown. She brings it up casually. "Oh, babe, Drew was telling me about this incredible investment thing he's putting together. Sounds amazing. Really cutting-edge tech." She swirls pasta around her fork, avoiding my eyes. "He mentioned needing partners. I was thinking, maybe we could use some of our savings? The return he's talking about could cover the rest of the wedding and then some." The food turns to ash in my mouth. Our joint savings account, the one we painstakingly built for the wedding, for a house down payment. Last time they drained it, leaving me with pennies and a mountain of debt from canceled vendors after I was painted as the villain who called everything off. The sheer audacity takes my breath away. They're not just betraying me emotionally. They're planning to rob me blind. Again. Later that night, after she's asleep or pretending to be, I check our wedding planning folder. Vendor contracts, invoices. I pause at the venue section. Elise had triumphantly declared she'd paid the hefty deposit last month, securing our dream date. I pull up our joint account statement online. Search the transaction history. Nothing. No payment to the venue. Not a cent. My blood freezes. Where did that money go? And why lie about something so specific? The web is stickier, darker than I thought. Saturday night drinks with our friends. The usual crowd? Jake, Maria, Ben, my sister Leah. It's supposed to be casual, relaxing. But the air is thick with unspoken things. I feel like I'm walking through a minefield, hyper-aware of every glance, every hushed conversation that stops when I approach. Jake, usually loud and goofy, seems determined to study the label on his beer bottle whenever I look his way. He offers clipped, one-word answers to my questions. Something's wrong there. Last time, Jake was one of the first to side with Drew and Elise, quick to believe their lies about my instability. Is he already in their camp this time too? And Leah, my own sister. She's attached herself to Elise's side, laughing a little too loudly at her jokes, whispering conspiratorially. It makes my skin crawl. In the first timeline, Leah's betrayal cut deepest. She bought their story hook, line, and sinker, lecturing me about getting therapy, siding with Elise during the breakup fallout. Seeing them together now, so chummy, feels like twisting the knife. It's happening again. The lines are being drawn, alliances forming. The betrayal isn't just Drew and Elise, it's a network, slowly closing in, isolating me just like before. They're poisoning the well early this time. As I head towards the restroom, I pass the patio door. Leah is outside, on her phone, her back to me. Her voice drifts through the slightly open door. No, he doesn't suspect anything yet. Everything's going according to plan. Just make sure he transfers the funds next week. My heart stops. He doesn't suspect anything yet. Who is she talking to? Drew, Elise, Sarah? The plan. It's not just the affair, it's bigger, colder. And my own sister is in on it. It doesn't take long to confirm my fears about the money. Monday morning, nursing a strong coffee at my desk, I log into our joint account again. Elise hasn't just not paid the venue deposit. She's been making small, regular transfers out. Not huge amounts, just enough to fly under the radar unless you're specifically looking. A few hundred here, 1,000 there, funneling into an account number I don't recognize. Over the last 2 months, it adds up. Significantly. Right on cue, my phone buzzes. It's Drew. Big news, Mark. The investment window is closing fast. Need commitments by Friday. Final chance to get in on the ground floor. His voice is artificially bright, laced with fake urgency. The trap is set. Identical to the last timeline. They siphon funds from our joint account. My money, mostly, while simultaneously pressuring me to invest more into Drew's phantom opportunity. Elise will claim she put her share in already, using the money she secretly transferred. Drew will produce fake prospectuses. Then, when the investment inevitably collapses, they'll shrug, point fingers at market volatility, maybe even imply my stress made me push for a risky venture. They walk away with the cash. I'm left holding the bag, financially ruined and looking like a fool. A cold, quiet rage simmers beneath my calm exterior. The sheer, repetitive audacity of it. The pain isn't just the betrayal. It's the insult of them thinking I'm stupid enough to fall for the exact same trick twice. They have no idea who they're dealing with this time. Babe, that sounds amazing, I tell Elise over dinner that night, forcing enthusiasm into my voice. Drew's investment. Yeah, he called me. Count us in. Let's do it. Her relief is palpable, though she tries to hide it behind a casual smile. Oh, wonderful. I knew you'd see the potential. It's going to be huge for us. She reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. Her touch feels like ice. I already moved some of my savings over to Drew to get things started, she adds, the lie slipping out effortlessly. With Drew, I play the eager, slightly naive friend. Yeah, man, sounds killer. Let me know what paperwork you need. Elise is totally on board too. I make sure to sound trusting, excited, maybe even a little greedy. Exactly the persona they expect. Maintaining this facade is exhausting. Sitting through dinner with Elise, listening to her lies about wedding plans funded by money she's stealing. Clapping Drew on the back at the bar, pretending to believe his bullshit about guaranteed returns. Every smile feels like a crack in my own sanity. Every trusting word I utter tastes like poison. But it's necessary. They need to believe I'm walking blindly into their trap. They need to feel secure, confident, right up until the moment the floor disappears beneath them. Late Tuesday night. The city lights paint stripes across the floor of my old friend Liam's office. Liam isn't just any friend. He's a forensic accountant, sharp as a tack. He was one of the few people who tentatively believed me in the aftermath of the first timeline, though I had no proof then. This time, I came prepared. "Reborn? Mark, are you serious?" Liam had asked earlier, skepticism etched on his face when I laid out the impossible truth. But as I detailed the financial coincidences, the exact patterns repeating, he started listening. Really listening. "Okay," he says now, tapping keys on his laptop. "Joint account transfers logged, destination account flagged. Now this investment money you're giving Drew needs to be traceable, ironclad," I say, leaning forward. "Every dollar." "Easy," Liam nods. "We set up a new, separate account solely in your name. You'll transfer the investment amount there first. Then wire it to Drew's specified account from that clean source. We document everything. Wire confirmations, timestamps, email correspondence, where you explicitly state the purpose of the funds is for this specific investment opportunity," he pitched. He pulls up a template. And we draft a simple loan agreement outlining the terms, expected returns based on his pitch, and repayment structure. You get him to sign it. He might balk at signing anything formal, I argue. "Frame it as standard practice," Liam advises. "Just good business hygiene, protecting everyone. If he pushes back hard, that's a red flag in itself. But my guess? He's arrogant enough to think the paperwork won't matter once he has the cash. Last time I had nothing. Just my word against theirs. Hysterical accusations versus calm denials. This time I'm building a fortress of evidence. Dates, times, account numbers, signed documents. Cold, hard facts. A quiet satisfaction settles in my chest. It's not explosive revenge. Not yet. It's groundwork. It's justice. Meticulously constructed. Liam pauses, looking up from his screen, his expression grim. "Ran a quick background on Drew's holding company while you were talking. It's not the first time he's solicited large investments for vaguely defined tech ventures. Found records of 2 similar setups in the last 5 years. Both investors ended up losing everything, with Drew claiming market failure. No charges were filed. Lack of concrete proof, they said. My blood chills. He's a serial predator, and Elise is willingly helping him. Friday afternoon, a sterile conference room at a neutral downtown office space Liam recommended. Me, Drew, Elise. She's playing the supportive fiancé. He's the confident entrepreneur. "Okay, guys, exciting times," Drew says, rubbing his hands together. "Just need that transfer confirmation mark, and we're officially partners." "Absolutely," I say, sliding my tablet across the table. "Here's the wire confirmation from my end." I tap the screen. And just a formality, standard practice for deals like this. A simple agreement outlining the investment terms we discussed. Protects us all. Drew picks up the stylus, ready to sign on the tablet, then pauses. His eyes scan the document Liam prepared. I watch his smile flicker. He sees the clauses about specific deliverables, the repayment schedule tied to tangible milestones, the personal guarantee. Elise leans over his shoulder, reading. Her breath hitches. I see the flicker of panic in her eyes as she notices the explicit reference to her introducing me to the opportunity and vouching for it. The room temperature seems to drop several degrees. Mark, Drew stammers, clearing his throat. This is a bit more formal than I expected. We're friends, right? Don't really need all this legal stuff between us. Just dotting the I's, Drew, I say smoothly. Good business practice. You said so yourself, this is a professional venture. Suddenly, the conference room door opens. Sarah walks in, looking flustered but determined. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was murder. Ready to sign for my share too, Drew? Drew and Elise stare at her, dumbfounded. Sarah wasn't supposed to be part of this deal. Her appearance throws their script completely off balance. I lean back in my chair, allowing myself a small, internal smile. Watching the first cracks spiderweb across their confident facades is almost intoxicating. This is better than shouting. This is control. Later that night, my phone rings. Drew. His voice is tight, strained. Mark? Hey, can we meet privately? Just need to talk something through about the deal. The desperation is poorly veiled. The hook is set. The financial trap is sprung, but they're not done. Of course they're not. This isn't just about money. It's about destruction, total annihilation, just like last time. A few days after the tense investment meeting, I'm working late. Elise thinks I'm buried in code, stressed about the investment. Maybe. Perfect cover. I use a break to check my email filtering rules. Something feels off. Tucked away in a spam folder, misdirected by a rule I know I didn't set up, is an internal company memo forwarded from Elise's work account to her personal one. Subject: Performance concerns. Mark Jameson. My blood runs cold. I open it. It's a carefully worded summary of supposed issues: missed deadlines, false; confrontational behavior in meetings, fabricated; general instability impacting team morale. Utter bullshit. It's the blueprint for my professional execution. Later that night, pretending to sleep, I hear Elise take a call in the living room. Her voice is low, urgent. No, he's falling apart. Stress is getting to him. Mentioned the investment worries. Yeah, I think HR is the next step. Make him look unstable. Easier for Drew to take point on the project. She's talking to Drew, coordinating the attack on my career. Just like before. Then, concrete proof. Using recovery software on her laptop while she's showering, a trick I learned from my tech background, honed by paranoia from the first timeline, I find deleted draft emails. Emails addressed to my boss, to HR, full of lies, fabricated incidents, claims of erratic behavior, paranoia, implying I'm mentally unfit for my leadership role. It's a carbon copy of the smear campaign that ruined my career prospects last time. As if on cue, Sarah calls me, her voice dripping with fake concern. Mark, I hate to do this, but I overheard Drew talking to Janice, our boss. He was saying, well, he seemed really worried about you. Said you seemed distracted. Angry, even. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Is she warning me? Or subtly reinforcing their narrative, making sure I know the rumors are spreading? My gut screams the latter. The soul-crushing weight of history repeating, of knowing exactly how they plan to tear me down piece by piece, settles heavily in my chest. The next week at work is pure theater. I let myself appear distracted. I accidentally miss a minor deadline, then apologize profusely, citing stress. I sigh dramatically in meetings. I let dark circles appear under my eyes, easy enough. The stress is real, just not for the reasons they think. I confide in Sarah, letting her comfort me. I don't know what's wrong with me, Sarah, I say over coffee, playing the part of the crumbling executive. Elise says I'm paranoid. Drew thinks I'm losing it. Maybe they're right. I watch her soak it up, nodding sympathetically, her eyes gleaming with something that isn't compassion. I'm feeding her exactly what she wants to hear. making her feel secure in her role. Maybe even report back to Elise and Drew that the plan is working perfectly. Elise, at home, ramps up the gaslighting. "Babe, are you sure you're okay? You seem so on edge. Maybe you should talk to someone? Drew mentioned you snapped at him yesterday." Every comment is designed to make me doubt myself, to fit the narrative they're spinning. It's a dangerous game, playing the victim while secretly sharpening the axe. The internal toll is immense. Every fake sigh, every feigned moment of weakness feels like a betrayal of the strength I'm trying to build. But it's the only way. They need to believe I'm breaking down right up until the moment I break them. They think I'm spiraling. They have no idea I'm meticulously documenting their spiral into conspiracy and corporate espionage. My next move involves leveraging my position and the resources available to me now. I schedule a confidential meeting with Sarah Chen, the head of our company's legal counsel. I don't mention Elise directly, not yet. I focus on Drew. "Sarah," I begin, placing a small encrypted hard drive on her desk. "I have reason to believe Drew Miller has been engaging in behavior detrimental to this company, potentially including intellectual property theft and attempting to undermine colleagues through slander. On the drive, recordings. Tiny, discrete audio recorders, perfectly legal in our state for participant recording, captured Drew outlining his plan to manage me out during phone calls he thought were private. Screen captures of Elise's draft emails to HR, recovered from her laptop, complete with metadata timestamps. Copies of the investment documents Drew tried to push on me, highlighting the questionable nature of the venture. But the centerpiece is digital forensics from company servers I requested under the guise of optimizing project workflows. It shows Drew accessing confidential project files far outside his remit, copying sensitive data to external drives, stealing company secrets. Furthermore, I continue, keeping my voice level, I've implemented security measures in my own workspace and residence due to feeling targeted. I don't elaborate on the hidden cameras I carefully installed in our apartment, focused on common areas, capturing Elise's revealing phone calls and conversations when Drew visits. That evidence is for later, if needed. For now, the corporate angle is cleaner, faster. I've created a secure digital vault, cloud-based, encrypted, multi-factor authentication. Every piece of evidence, audio, video snippets, documents, screenshots, logs, is uploaded, timestamped, categorized. Accessible only by me. Insurance. As I'm consolidating files that evening, cross-referencing call logs with financial transfers between Elise and Drew, I stumble upon something else. A scanned document buried deep in a shared cloud folder Elise must have forgotten about. It's a poorly drafted agreement, not legally sound but damning nonetheless. It outlines profit-sharing percentages from the investment scam and includes specific actions each party must take to neutralize Mark's influence professionally and personally. The signatories? Drew Miller, Elise Vance, and Sarah Jenkins. My breath catches. Sarah wasn't just aware. She was a partner in the entire scheme from the beginning. The warnings, the tears, the shared videos, all part of the act. Thursday morning. I request an urgent meeting. HR director, my boss Janice, and Drew. Elise isn't invited. This part focuses solely on Drew's corporate malfeasance. Drew walks in looking confident, probably assuming this is the meeting where I get reprimanded or put on leave based on the rumors he and Elise have been seeding. Janice and the HR director look grim, likely expecting an uncomfortable mediation session. "Thank you for meeting on short notice," I begin calmly. It's come to my attention that there are serious issues regarding corporate policy violations and potential illegal activity that need addressing immediately. I don't raise my voice. I don't show anger. I simply connect my laptop to the conference room monitor. I present the evidence methodically. Drew's logged access to restricted files, timestamps of data transfers, audio snippets of him discussing pushing me out using false pretenses, evidence of him soliciting funds for a questionable external venture using company time and resources. Drew's face goes from confusion to shock to ashen white. He starts sputtering denials, trying to deflect. This is ridiculous. Mark is clearly unstable. He's fabricating this because he's under pressure. The server logs aren't fabricated, Drew, the HR director says, her voice cold. Neither are the access timestamps. Janice looks stunned, then furious. Drew, have you been accessing the Phoenix project files? The final blow. There's also evidence suggesting Drew has been copying proprietary company information, I state flatly, presenting the forensic analysis summary. Potentially for use in competing ventures. The fallout is swift. Drew is speechless, cornered. Janice and HR exchange a look. Drew, Janice says, her voice tight with anger. You're placed on immediate administrative leave, pending a full investigation. Security will escort you out. The profound satisfaction is immense, but quiet. It's not explosive, but it's devastatingly effective. Watching Drew, utterly defeated, being led out of the room is phase 1 complete. My phone buzzes incessantly as I walk back to my office. It's Elise. Message after message. Mark, where are you? What happened? Drew just called me, hysterical. Please call me. He said you set him up. Mark, please, he forced me into this. You have to believe me. The desperation, the sudden shift in allegiance now that her partner is sinking. It's exactly as I remembered, and just as pathetic. The days following Drew's suspension are strange. Work is tense, but the immediate threat to my job has evaporated. People look at me differently. With curiosity, maybe respect, maybe fear. Drew is gone, silent. His texts, initially filled with rage and threats. You'll pay for this, Mark. You have no idea who you're messing with. Abruptly stopped. Complete radio silence. Elise, however, is a whirlwind of desperate affection. Suddenly, she can't do enough for me. Favorite meals, constant touching, tearful apologies about being manipulated by Drew. He scared me, Mark, she whispers one night, clinging to me. He threatened my job, my reputation. I only went along with the money thing because I thought it would appease him. And the things he wanted me to say about you to HR, I never sent those emails. I swear, it's a masterful performance of coercive control victimhood. But I see the calculation in her eyes. She's trying to salvage her position, assess how much I know, ensure she still has access to, well, to me. And my money. Sarah is the most unsettling. She avoids me at first, then tries too hard to be normal, asking about work, offering sympathy about the stressful situation with Drew. But her eyes dart around constantly. She jumps when my phone rings. She looks haunted, guilty, afraid. Not the behavior of an innocent bystander, or even just a jilted girlfriend. Then there's Leah, my sister. After the initial plan confirmation I overheard, she'd been playing the supportive sibling, probably feeding Elise information. Now, she's distant, avoids my calls. When we do talk, her voice is strained, monosyllabic. Something has spooked her. Did Drew's downfall make them all realize this isn't going according to their script? The feeling grows, insistent, nagging. There's another layer here. Drew's sudden silence isn't like him. He'd usually fight dirty. Elise's desperation feels too calculated. Sarah's fear seems disproportionate. And Leah's withdrawal, it doesn't add up. What piece am I missing? What didn't I know in the first timeline? Sorting through some old boxes from my parents' place one weekend, mostly childhood junk, a manila envelope slips out from between dusty yearbooks. It's addressed to me, in my late grandfather's meticulous handwriting. Inside, a single sheet of paper. Official letterhead from a law firm I don't recognize. My name, an account number, and the words, "Trust fund activation upon 30th birthday." My 30th birthday was 3 months ago. I stare at the paper, completely bewildered. Trust fund? What trust fund? I take a personal day. Drive the 2 hours back to my hometown, the small town where generations of my family lived and died. The law firm on the letterhead, Abernathy and Ross, is still there, occupying the same dusty brick building on Main Street. Mr. Abernathy, Jr. Old, frail, surrounded by towering stacks of files, peers at me over his spectacles. "Mark Jameson? Good heavens. Your father said, well, he said you weren't to know until you were much older. More settled?" "Know what, Mr. Abernathy?" My voice is tight. He shuffles through a thick folder pulled from a cabinet labeled Jameson Estate. "Your grandfather, Harold Jameson, shrewd man, made a fortune in early tech investments back in the 80s. Didn't trust banks much after the crash, less so his own children's spending habits. Bless their hearts." He chuckles wheezily. "Set up a blind trust for you, his only grandchild. Stipulated it wouldn't activate, wouldn't even be revealed to you until your 30th birthday, which was 3 months ago," I manage, my head spinning. "Indeed." He pushes a summary statement across the desk. My eyes scan the numbers. Zeros, lots of them, millions. An amount that changes everything. My successful tech job salary is pocket change compared to this. "My parents, they knew?" "Oh yes. Harold made them trustees but forbade them from telling you. Worried it would spoil you, make you lazy. Wanted you to make your own way first. Build character, he called it." Mr. Abernathy sighs. "A bit old-fashioned, perhaps. Make my own way, build character, while sitting on a fortune. The irony is bitter. This explains it. The laser focus on me, the elaborate scheme. It wasn't just about my salary or our modest joint savings. It was about this hidden wealth they somehow discovered. How? A cold dread creeps up my spine. "Mr. Abernathy," I ask slowly, "has anyone else inquired about this trust recently, besides me?" The old lawyer frowns, consulting his notes. "Well, that's odd. Yes, just last month. A young woman claiming to be assisting you with financial planning. Said you'd authorized her to gather preliminary information. Used your full name, date of birth, even your mother's maiden name for verification." He peers at the notes. Name was Sarah Jenkins. Sarah, of course. Not just a participant. The instigator? She must have dug into my family background, maybe through public records. Maybe she knew someone, found a breadcrumb about my grandfather, and pulled the thread until she hit gold. She found the trust. She targeted me. Recruited Drew, her easily manipulated boyfriend. Recruited Elise, my fiancé, leveraging greed and perhaps relationship dissatisfaction. Maybe even roped in my sister Leah with lies or promises. This wasn't just a crime of opportunity. It was a long con aimed at my inheritance. The drive back to the city is a blur. Millions. Sarah. The whole conspiracy snapping into sharp, ugly focus. They weren't just trying to ruin me. They were trying to isolate me, break me, maybe even get power of attorney if they could prove I was mentally unstable, all to get their hands on my grandfather's legacy. The failed attempt in the first timeline now makes horrifying sense. They must have succeeded after I was gone, somehow accessing the funds meant for me. But this time I know, and now I have resources they can't even imagine. The next few days are a whirlwind of discrete activity. I contact the trust administrators, verify my identity, secure access, guided by Meister Abernathy and a new, high-powered financial advisory team based in the city, recommended by Abernathy, vetted by me. I start moving funds, setting up new accounts under layers of security, diversifying, protecting the principal. It's surreal. talking about portfolio allocations and offshore holdings when just weeks ago I was sweating over a diner bill. Meeting with sharp-suited lawyers who talk about asset protection and litigation strategy like it's everyday conversation. Suddenly, I have options, power, the kind of power that can dismantle their petty schemes from the top down. The plan crystallizes. No more piecemeal revenge. No more reacting to their moves. It's time for the checkmate. Time to use this hidden advantage, this unexpected inheritance to lay the final, inescapable trap. My new legal team digs deeper into Sarah Jenkins. Her background check reveals a pattern of association with financially vulnerable individuals, followed by messy fallouts. No convictions, but whispers of manipulation and fraud. And then the smoking gun. A shell corporation set up 6 months ago, listing Sarah as the sole director. Financial forensics, courtesy of my new resources, find faint links between this shell corp and accounts associated with Drew's previous failed ventures. The document suggests Sarah wasn't just the mastermind. She was potentially laundering the money from Drew's earlier scams, likely taking the lion's share while he took the fall if things went sour. Time to set the stage. I book a private dining room at Elysian, one of the city's most exclusive, ridiculously expensive restaurants. The kind of place where deals are made and fortunes are flaunted. I send out carefully worded invitations. To Elise, a chance for us to reconnect, talk properly. To Sarah, need your advice on something important, away from prying eyes. To Drew, via his lawyer as he's still radio silent. An opportunity to discuss a potential resolution. To Jake, Maria, Ben, and critically, my sister Leah. A dinner to clear the air, put everything behind us. I need witnesses, and I need Leah there to face the truth. The night of the dinner arrives. The private room at Elysian oozes wealth. Thick carpets, crystal chandeliers, heavy silverware, obsequious waiters murmuring deferentially. The air smells of money, expensive perfume, aged wine, rich food. I arrive early, ensuring the hidden audio-video equipment my security consultant installed is working perfectly. Small cameras, disguised, covering every angle. Microphones capturing every word. They arrive one by one. Elise, dressed to kill, radiating nervous hope. Sarah, composed but her eyes betraying her tension. Drew, looking haggard and wary, accompanied by his lawyer who looks deeply uncomfortable. Jake, Maria, Ben, awkward, uncertain. And Leah, pale and avoiding my gaze. I've arranged the seating strategically. Drew and his lawyer isolated at one end. Elise next to me, a position of false intimacy. Sarah across from her, allowing me to watch them both. Leah seated between Jake and Maria, buffered but unable to easily escape. The first course arrives. Small talk stumbles, dies. The tension is thick enough to cut with a steak knife. Everyone is waiting. Waiting for me to break the silence, to offer reconciliation, or perhaps make demands. They think this is about negotiation, about salvaging something. They have no idea this is the end of the line. I let the silence stretch, enjoying their discomfort for a moment. Then, I stand up, tapping my water glass lightly with a spoon. All eyes turn to me. They expect a toast, an explanation, an olive branch. Thank you all for coming, I begin, my voice calm, steady. I know things have been complicated recently. Elise manages a weak smile. Sarah watches me like a hawk. Drew glares. I invited you here tonight because I believe it's time for some honesty. Time to put all the cards on the table. And to start, I continue, my voice echoing slightly in the suddenly silent room, I want to share something with you. I nod to the waiter hovering discreetly near the door. On cue, the restaurant's high-end sound system patched into my laptop clicks on. Elise's voice fills the room, low and urgent, from the recording I captured in our apartment. No, he's falling apart. Stress is getting to him. Yeah, I think HR is the next step. Make him look unstable. Easier for Drew to take point on the project. Her face drains of color. She stares at me, horrified. Next, Drew's voice, bragging to Elise on another call. The investment funds are secure. Once Mark's sidelined at work, and with Sarah handling the trust inquiries, we're golden. He'll be broken and broke. Then, Sarah's voice, crisp and businesslike, from a call I intercepted between her and Drew before his suspension. Make sure the HR complaints mirror the language in the psychological profile I sent you. Consistency is key. And remind Elise to keep transferring small amounts from the joint account. We need plausible deniability on the larger sum later. Gasps ripple around the table. Jake looks physically ill. Maria covers her mouth. Leah sinks low in her chair, her face buried in her hands. But verbal agreements and plans are one thing, I say, picking up a sleek tablet from the table beside me. I pass it to Jake. Swipe left. More tablets are discreetly placed in front of the others by the waiters. On the screens, bank statements showing Elise's transfers. Copies of the fabricated emails to HR. The damning agreement between Drew, Elise, and Sarah outlining their neutralize Mark plan. Server logs showing Drew's data theft. Evidence of Sarah's inquiries into my grandfather's trust using my personal information. Financial links between Sarah's shell corporation and Drew's previous victims. Every lie, every manipulation laid bare in black and white and damning audio. The shocked silence is absolute, broken only by the clinking of ice in someone's trembling water glass. Elise looks utterly destroyed, the carefully constructed facade crumbling into dust. She understands, finally, that she never had control. Not this time. Suddenly, Sarah shoves her chair back violently, its legs screeching on the polished floor. She makes a desperate dash for the door. Stop her, I say calmly. 2 discreet security personnel, hired for the evening and positioned outside the room, step forward, blocking her exit. Panic flashes in Sarah's eyes. Trapped. The dam breaks. Drew explodes, pointing a shaking finger at the women. It was them! Both of them! Sarah found out about the money. She cooked up the whole plan. Elise was supposed to handle Mark, keep him trusting. I just went along with it. His lawyer puts a hand on his arm, muttering, Drew, be quiet. But he shakes it off, desperate to deflect blame. Elise bursts into tears, turning to me, her voice choked with sobs. Mark, please, I loved you, I still do. Drew, Sarah, they manipulated me. They twisted things. They said you were hiding money from me, that you didn't trust me. I made mistakes. Horrible mistakes, but I was scared. Please, Mark, give us another chance. Her plea sounds hollow, rehearsed, even amidst the real tears. Sarah, cornered, drops the panic for a sneer. Her eyes are cold, calculating even now. Don't listen to them, Mark. They're weak, spineless. You played this well, I'll give you that. But don't pretend you're any different now. Using your money, your power, you're just like us. My sister, Leah, finally looks up, her face streaked with tears. Mark, They told me things about you. That you were unstable after Mom died. That you were hiding assets from the family. Elise seemed so convincing, so worried about you. I thought I was helping you by making sure you didn't make bad decisions. Her voice cracks. I'm so sorry. I was so stupid. The trembling relief of her confession, however painful, is a small, unexpected balm. Drew, seeing his bluster failing, changes tactics. He leans towards me, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Mark, look. I can give you everything. All the details, names, dates, other people Sarah ripped off. Everything she did. Just don't press charges for the corporate stuff. Please, we can make a deal. Tell me anyway, Drew, I say quietly. tell us all. And he does. Spurred by fear and self-preservation, the whole ugly story tumbles out. How Sarah, after discovering the trust fund through meticulous research, targeted me specifically. How she approached Drew, knowing his financial desperation and weak moral compass. How they together recruited Elise, playing on her own insecurities and greed, promising her a cut of the inheritance far exceeding anything she'd get through marriage or divorce. He confirms Sarah was the mastermind, directing their actions, even coaching Elise on how to manipulate me emotionally. He admits, voice trembling, that this wasn't their first rodeo, confirming Liam's findings about previous victims, though he insists Sarah handled the money side. Crucially, he reveals their plan for the first timeline. After they successfully destroyed my reputation and drove me away, broken and alone, Sarah had used forged documents and Elise's intimate knowledge of my family details to eventually access the trust fund after I was declared missing or incapable. They had won. They had stolen my inheritance then. Hearing it laid out, the full scope of their long-term calculated betrayal across 2 lifetimes, it's not anger I feel anymore. It's a profound, weary vindication. Understanding the why behind the seemingly senseless cruelty of the first timeline finally brings a twisted kind of peace. It wasn't random. It was targeted, predatory, and meticulously planned. The confessions hang heavy in the air. The witnesses, Jake, Maria, Ben, look shell-shocked, disgusted. My sister is openly weeping. Elise makes one last desperate plea. "Mark, please, we can fix this. I can change. I'll go to therapy. We can start over. Forget the money. Forget everything else. Just us." She reaches for my hand. Drew adds quickly, "Yeah, Mark, the money, I can get some of it back. Pay you back. Just give me time, please." Sarah remains defiant, though her eyes betray a flicker of fear as she glances at the security guards. "So what now, Mark? You going to play the righteous victim? Ruin us all? Doesn't change what you are now." I look at each of them. Elise, the woman I thought I loved, her face a mask of desperate hope. Drew, the friend who betrayed me, now reduced to pathetic begging. Sarah, the cold architect of it all, trying one last manipulation. Leah, my sister, finally seeing the truth. I remember the agony of the first timeline, the isolation, the despair, the feeling of being utterly powerless. I remember the rage that consumed me. But standing here now, with the truth revealed, with the power firmly in my hands, the rage is gone, replaced by something quiet, solid, closure. I look Elise directly in the eye. "No." I turn to Drew. "No!" I meet Sarah's defiant gaze. "No." Just that. A simple refusal. No anger, no shouting, no desire for further vengeance. They are exposed. Their power over me is broken. The cycle is shattered. That's enough. I turn away from them, towards the door. The security team steps aside. As I walk out of the opulent room, leaving the wreckage of their lives behind, my phone vibrates. A text message from an unknown number. "You're not the only one they hurt. Saw the commotion, thank you." 1 year later. The sun dips towards the horizon, painting the sky in fiery strokes of orange and purple. I'm sitting on the deck of a small beach house, modest, comfortable, mine. The sound of the waves rolling onto the shore is a constant, soothing rhythm. Warm sand squishes between my bare toes, and the salty breeze carries the distant calls of seagulls. It took time, of course. The legal fallout was messy, though my high-powered team handled most of it efficiently. Drew, facing overwhelming evidence of corporate espionage and conspiracy to defraud, took a plea deal. He avoided prison time for the corporate charges by cooperating fully against Sarah. but he lost his career, his reputation, and faces years of civil lawsuits from other victims. His confession at the dinner, recorded, was instrumental. Elise vanished. Moved to another city, maybe another state. Changed her name, probably. She faced no criminal charges directly related to the trust fund attempt. Proving intent was harder there, but the social and professional fallout was absolute. Our friends, finally seeing the truth, cut ties completely. She simply ceased to exist in my world. Sarah Jenkins is currently navigating multiple fraud indictments. Drew's testimony, combined with evidence unearthed by investigators hired by myself and other victims, built a strong case. Her shell corporations, her history, it all came crashing down. Justice moves slowly, but it moves. My sister, Leah, that's been complicated, but healing. She apologized profusely, genuinely. She's been in therapy, working through how she was manipulated, why she was susceptible to their lies. We talk regularly, slowly, cautiously. We're rebuilding trust. It's not the same as it was. Maybe it never will be, but it's real. And it's enough. The freedom of living without constantly looking over my shoulder, without the weight of their deceit pressing down on me, is indescribable. The text message I received that night at the restaurant, it was from Amelia, one of Drew and Sarah's previous victims. She'd been tipped off about the dinner, watched from afar, and reached out. Finding her led me to others, a small group of us who were targeted, defrauded, and left emotionally scarred by the trio's schemes over the years. We meet occasionally, not as victims, but as survivors. We share stories, offer support, pool resources. It's a strange, unexpected family forged in the fires of betrayal. Using a small, carefully managed portion of my grandfather's trust, administered through a proper foundation, I've been able to offer some financial assistance to those who lost the most, helping them get back on their feet, pursue legal action, or simply get therapy. It doesn't erase the pain, mine or theirs, but turning that inherited wealth, the very thing that made me a target, into a tool for healing and justice. It feels right. It provides a sense of purpose that transcends revenge. There's a quiet satisfaction in transforming their weapon into our shield, and sometimes our sword. There's a warm belonging in this circle, people who truly understand the unique violation of being targeted by those you trust. Life moves forward. I left the high-pressure tech job. The money means I don't need to work, but I learned in the first timeline that purpose matters. I started a small consulting firm, boutique stuff, helping individuals and small businesses protect themselves from fraud, vetting investments, shoring up digital security, using my experiences, good and bad, to help others avoid similar pitfalls. It's fulfilling in a way coding never was. Romance, I'm testing the waters. Her name is Clara. She's a landscape architect, quiet, funny, grounded. She knows my story, not the rebirth part, obviously, but the betrayal, the trust fund, the complicated aftermath. She didn't flinch. We're taking things slow. Very slow. Trust doesn't come easily anymore, but the nervous excitement is there, a flicker of warmth I thought was extinguished forever. It's a conscious choice, this time, to open myself up again, but with eyes wide open. Sometimes, usually when I'm hiking, like now, standing on a rocky summit as the first rays of dawn paint the eastern sky gold, I wonder why. Why me? Why the second chance? Was it random cosmic luck? A test? A glitch in the universe? I'll never know. But I know I didn't waste it. I faced the same demons, the same betrayals, but this time, armed with foreknowledge and unexpected resources, I didn't just survive. I broke the cycle. For myself, and for others, caught in their web. I take a deep breath, the crisp mountain air filling my lungs. It feels clean, free, The ghosts of Drew, Elise, and Sarah are finally fading. Relegated to a past I understand but no longer inhabit. I don't know what the future holds. Not anymore. There's no script to follow this time. And that, I realize, is the ultimate freedom. The peace isn't just in the victory. It's in the quiet confidence of knowing I navigated the storm and reached the other side, ready for whatever comes next.